Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball. As you can see, I'm here with a special guest today, my guy Jay, also known as NBA Addict TV. How you doing, bro?
Hey man, I'm doing really good. Hey, I just came back from the barber shop. I told my barber, hey, make sure I'm clean, man. Make sure I'm nice. I'm gonna be on Bullony Basketball tonight. So
hmm
hey, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm a big fan of the show, man. And hey, let's get started.
Yeah, well, clearly the barber took it the game 7 mode for that because it looks like you did a good job. Um,
Yes, sir.
no, so we got a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about today. I think the first one, a few weeks back, almost actually about 2 months ago now, when Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 points, I think people were like, this is insane. Like, we're not going to see this for so many years yet again. Damian Lillard just dropped 71 points himself a couple days ago against the Houston Rockets. I know people were criticizing, oh, it's against Houston, they're not that good. But at the same time, I don't think you can really hold it against anyone scoring over 70 points in any game in any situation. So I guess
Yep.
just tell me what you saw from this game individually and what you've been seeing from Dame, especially as of late, because he's been averaging like about almost 40 points a game over the last 10 or 11. So,
Yeah, which is crazy. I think honestly, I think we should have all expected the type of year that Dame is having this year, because the last couple of years he's been held back, playing through pain with the abdomen injury. He ultimately sat out the rest of I'll say about half of last season. Came back this season with a vengeance, bro. And
mhm.
speaking of his last couple games, I'm just gonna read off his game total. So he dropped in the last 19 games. He dropped 60, 44, 40, 36, 50, 42, 42, 40, 38, 40. Like, should I keep going on? Dame is having an insane year.
Mhm.
Bro is averaging 32 points on 58% on two pointers, 91% from the free throw line, 38% from three. And if you want to get advanced with it, that's 62% true shooting. A career high. Dame is having a fantastic year. And I'm not gonna lie, I might have to take that one step further. I think Dame might be the second best shooter of all time. I haven't seen a man get off a shot and make them consistently like Damian Lillard. I
Mhm.
have to put him. Sorry, Klay Thompson. Take a step back, brother. But Damian Lillard is the second best shooter of all time. That 71-point game,
Mhm.
insane, man, insane.
Yeah.
And
So,
I also want to add, I was one of the people that I did have really high hopes for Dame. I thought he was gonna be this year's MVP. But unfortunately, the rest of his team doesn't. They just can't get together. I don't know why the Blazers thought Jeremy Grant was gonna be their third star, where he's more of a complimentary piece. You know what I
mhm.
mean. That Blazer situation it's tough, man. It's tough. But I also thought a motivating factor going into that game was when Damian Lillard was listed out the first game back from All Star break. I saw under the replies where Shams tweeted it. A lot of people were complaining that All Star break wasn't enough rest and things like that. And Damian Lillard is a really prideful person, and I think he took that chip on his shoulder and showed everybody why he's prime time
Mhm.
and why he loves the game so much.
Yeah, I mean, really, like a lot of it is just like echoing everything you just said. But I mean, personally for me, like, I'm a big as a Bulls fan that grew up like watching D Rose. Obviously, he's my favorite player. Uh, but my second favorite current player is Damian Lillard. So to see a game like this, a performance like this, it was just insane. And where would they be without him in this game? I know that it was kind of a blowout, but at the same time, you take him away, surely other opportunities are going to be created for other guys if he's not playing. But at the same time, it's like I don't even know. Like there's a chance that this Blazers team without Dame would be right in that same situation with that Rockets team, who had a few guys out too. So just something to consider, but. Dame, I mean, like you said, so, I mean, you even said, like, might be the second best shooter of all time right now. I think the one thing for him definitely is his range extends, like, further. I think, honestly, you could make an argument that he has, like, more consistent, deep, deep range than Steph. the thing is, like with Curry, is that like he can also shoot from very deep, but he also is at a higher level. So that's why he's going to be the undisputed greatest shooter ever. But I mean, I kind of like that take because not only can Dame like create off the dribble, but he can, come off screens, much like Clay, much like Reggie, much like Ray Allen, Drazen Petrovic, like some of these other guys like in NBA history who were great 3-point shooters. So definitely got to give him consideration there. And I mean, right now it's a lot like, would it be a little similar to what we saw like maybe 2 years ago from Steph? Like when, his team, they weren't really doing that great. They finished the 8th seed. They missed the playoffs after the play-in. But a lot of people were saying, like, he might be the MVP this year. He was the scoring champion that year. Like, Dame, what he's doing this year, it's very reminiscent of that. And I feel like, he's not going to get the love he deserves for the MVP ladder just because I don't think he has as much of a following as what Golden State would provide for Steph. And at the same time, they are a bit lower than where the Warriors were at that time. But you could make an argument this is the best version we've seen of Damian Lillard. And I think the fact that last year was probably his most individual like down year in the past decade because of the injuries, because the team didn't make the playoffs, and it was just abysmal as a whole. Like, to think that he could have came back this year and is playing this good. I think right now he's 3rd in the league in points per game, and he's not too far off of, I think Luka has the scoring lead right now. He's not too far off that too. So the way he's playing, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually snagged that late in the season, much like we saw with Curry that year against Bradley Beal, or like what we saw like with Melo like a decade ago with Kevin Durant. So we've seen these things before, and I mean, that would just be another thing to add to Dame's resume. And I think a lot of people, he even admitted, like, they're not going to give him the respect he deserves until maybe he's out of the league. And I mean, eventually they're going to have to start giving him the respect now. I just think, people criticized him when he made the 75th anniversary team, and I think ever since then, he's just only continued to prove why he deserved to be on it. So,
absolutely. With that being said, do you think this is a conversation I've heard like pop up more often since Dame's 71-point game? Do you think we're putting too much emphasis on a player's career depending if they win a championship or not?
I think it's a little inconsistent. Like, for Dame, yes. But there are other people who have never won a championship that I feel like people maybe give them like a bypass, like in NBA history. Like, even though I know like there's situations where one of my favorite players of all time, Steve Nash, got completely cheated by the refs in one situation against Robert Horry, like with Stoudemire and Diaw and those guys like getting suspended or whatever. And then eventually like their team broke up before it happened, like all those things. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have a championship, but a lot of people still respect him. But at the same time, they don't for someone like Dame. And I mean, that's just one example. There's a few others, but I think it's a little unfair to Dame, like, I guess, to answer your question. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I respect everything you said. I think when it's all said and done, the two people whose careers, if they don't win a championship, whose careers we're gonna look at a little weird is Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard, without a doubt.
Yeah. No, I agree with that point. But if you want, we can move on. We could talk a little bit about the Atlanta Hawks, who recently have made a coaching change. Last week I didn't really touch on it, but they got rid of Nate McMillan and now are adding Quinn Snyder to the mix. The Hawks, actually lately, I know they lost their last game, but they went on a little like 3 or 4 game winning streak. Although there are maybe rumors that in the offseason that Trae Young, like, they're going to start to listen to offers for him. So I guess, like, what do you make of the Hawks right now? And, do you think maybe this coaching change of Quinn Snyder could actually, like, save them down the line in the Trae Young era?
Well, I just want to say the Hawks is a trash organization from day one. They traded Luka for Trae Young. Like, come on, let's be honest. That's a wrong move from the start. I'm indifferent about the Nate McMillan situation because he was the head coach when you guys didn't make the Eastern Conference Finals. So that either means Trae Young was the sole purpose, was the driving force, or Nate McMillan is just not a good coach. But I don't like the hire of Quinn Snyder. Me personally, his years in Utah, it really didn't do it for me.
Mm,
Obviously, year after year, we knew what the problem was and why the Utah Jazz couldn't get over that hump. It was Rudy Gobert. Their defensive scheme was funnel the offense into Rudy Gobert, and he'll handle everything. But guess what? You put a five to guard Rudy Gobert, stretch the floor, you're done. You're done. And Quinn Snyder showed no interest in making any type of adjustment. And honestly, all right, so the Cleveland Cavaliers now have Donovan Mitchell playing about average defense. What
mm.
Quinn Snyder couldn't get out of Donovan Mitchell when he was on the Utah Jazz. Royce O'Neal is a good defender, but he wasn't the guy that he is on the Brooklyn Nets, like he was on the Utah Jazz. Quinn
Mm.
Snyder isn't the coach for this Atlanta Hawks team. And this is a lateral move, man. This is a lateral move. I pray for Hawks fans, man. Y'all down bad.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not the best move, I would say, like in terms of them being a successful organization. Maybe Trae Young likes the move because in their comparison is that they facilitate no defense, right? But I don't know. I've talked a little bit about the Trae Young Nate McMillan thing before, and like because I think there was an instance earlier this year where he didn't show up to practice or whatever, and then Nate McMillan's rule is that like, oh, if you show up late to practice or don't show up to practice, then you can't start. And he's like, well, I'm not gonna do that, so just sit me in the game. And I know that kind of blew up. So there's been a lot of people that have been saying that, like, oh, maybe Trae Young and Nate McMillan had beef. And then they were saying that he's like a coach killer. I mean, I don't know if you remember like when they had I think it was Lloyd Pierce on the team before that too. So like now they're saying, oh, he's already run like two coaches out in solid situations, like not obviously ideal, but still like decent enough. And then, I feel like that's kind of hurting him in a way as well, because what I saw personally and what I felt, I feel like it might have played a factor with like the All-Star game, and why Trae Young wasn't in it. Because obviously the starters, the fans, the media, the players, all of them have a say in it. But then the coaches, they get to rule who's coming on the bench. And usually, if you see like a toxic energy kind of with a player and his own coach, most of the other coaches in the league aren't going to like that, and they're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So, I mean, in 2021 is when they did that. Is when the whole thing happened with Lloyd Pierce. He didn't make the All-Star team that year, and now you saw it this year with Nate McMillan, and he didn't make it this year either. So eventually, like I feel like something is gonna come out like very soon. Like we're on the verge of some major news with this organization happening, I feel like. So I don't know. And the fact that maybe they trade him in the offseason and he goes somewhere else, I mean, probably would make the whole, like you said, the whole Luka trade look even worse, because like we could have Luka, who is one of the top 5, top 10 players in the league, whereas instead we have Trae Young, who's not that, and he's already run multiple coaches out. Luka never really has ran a coach out. He had Rick Carlisle. He decided, you know what, I'm just gonna leave here on my own terms, and then he brought in Jason Kidd. Whereas it seemed like there's been 2 coaches who didn't really get to the same wavelength as Trae Young for his play style. So I don't know. Now, you got any other thoughts about this?
No, no. Everything you said was absolute facts. I actually saw today. I don't know if it was Shams or maybe NBA Central tweeted that another report of Trae Young's teammates just not liking him, not gelling with him.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there's a separation in the locker room between Trae and the rest of the team. I'm not gonna lie. A Trae Young trade or trade request could be very near very soon in the near future.
Yeah, and this
He
is
might be the next disgruntled star that we see get up on out of there.
could be. I'll just leave it with this, because we've seen, this is kind of just a rhetorical question, but do you maybe like this could be why like we've seen John Collins in trade rumors so much, because like obviously they're trying to accommodate so much for Trae Young. Well, eventually there's probably going to come a breaking point, and if it's not going to come for the front office or management, like it might come from Trae himself. So I don't know. I think that it's definitely something we have to keep an eye on moving forward. But if you want, we can move on. We could talk about Another team that's not looking too hot right now, and that is the Houston Rockets. There's been a lot of rumblings lately that just their team as a whole, they have a bad culture from tons of other executives and coaches around the league, at least according to NBA Central. So, obviously they're not a good team. Their objective is just simply to tank, get a great player, and then eventually turn that product into like a 5-year rebuild where eventually they can push back into the playoffs. But I don't know, like what do you see from just the Rockets, I guess, like right now, and like their culture shift? You could even talk about Steven Silas if you want, but like just what do you think about like the whole connect, the team chemistry, and do you think maybe it is a bad culture?
The Houston trash bags. Damn. I don't know how I feel about this team. I really like Jalen Green. I will say I didn't like the drafting of Jabari Smith Jr. From the start. I think it was a good fit. Jabari Smith isn't the type of player that you can put alongside Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. He's not gonna get. He's not gonna develop the way he should. He's not gonna be the player that you want him to be with those surrounding pieces. It's just not gonna gel. One of those players are gonna have to be moved. Either Jabari Smith Jr. I'm not gonna say Jalen Green because he might be a cornerstone, but so. I don't know. I don't like that fit. I like Sengun, Tari Eason. I do like as well. Kenny Martin Jr. as well. Bro got bounced for days.
Mm.
I don't know how I feel about Steven Silas, man. Yeah, you could say he cares about the players, but his voice may not be the voice that you need to ultimately motivate that locker room and have these young players go to that next level. I was thinking maybe bring in a Kenny Atkinson or maybe a Stan Van Gundy just to build a solid basketball foundation with these young players. And you don't have to hold on to those coaches like for a long term. Just build, install some type of culture within these young guys, please. Install some type of culture in these young guys. Build a basketball foundation and take it from there, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm right there with you. I don't know, like, at least from Steven Silas, I feel like, obviously, as a team that's not expected to compete, like, from a front office standpoint, you would want to be bad because you would want a great pick. But at the same time, like, if you have all these players that, they just don't like the vibes that are going on there, it's going to be basically useless because everyone's just going to feel the same way. The disconnect is going to last forever and ever. So, like, when you're seeing, like, with Steven Silas and, like, how he's had, like, a riff multiple times, like, with Kevin Porter Jr., just the other day, I don't know if you saw, like, they were asking about Sengun, and he said, like, oh, he's getting attacked in every pick and roll, and, like, I couldn't play him out there or something. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe if that was the case, like, okay. But that seems like something you tell him one-on-one or you tell, like, to your team, like, we can't keep getting beat, like, straight downhill or on pick and rolls, like, downhill and stuff like that. Like, it just seemed really odd. And I guess, like, from what I saw, like, from other Rockets fans, he's had it out for several players for a long time. You just can't trust that, like, moving forward. And maybe, like, a lot of people say, like, okay, the coach is the first thing to go. Literally what we just talked about, like with the Hawks, Nate McMillan gone before Trae Young. So I mean, more times than not, like that's what needs to happen, and you could see if maybe the culture will shift. But I don't know. I also think that just the way some of these guys play, like I know you said that you're a fan of Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr. Some of these guys, just to me, like they strike me as they could be very great, six men or very great role players. I don't see them ever like really being like a top option or second option really on a team that's supposed to be like that high. I could be wrong, but that's just not what I see. But I mean, overall, like they do have other role players, like you said, like Tari Eason or Kenny Martin Jr. Like they got other guys on that squad that are pretty nice that I think they'd want to keep a hold of long term. But if the culture's bad, they're going to probably have the same like disgruntled feelings as these other guys. So I don't know really, but you got anything else to add here?
That's about it. Now that you said that about Jalen Green, I don't know because he is a bit inconsistent for me and the
Yeah.
inefficiency. I could if he doesn't work out to be like the high level scorer that we thought he was coming into the league, I could definitely see a Jordan Clarkson type of career arc. Absolutely.
I think they really need like a Draymond Green in there. Like they need like a strong voice, someone who can actually like play as like a true facilitator, maybe, and maybe someone who's like gonna be like an up man for his young guys as well. Like I'm not saying Draymond specifically, but they need someone like that on their team, especially like a veteran with experience. So I don't know. The I guess the issue is, are they gonna get it? Probably not. But
Hey, Draymond to the Pistons next year, man. Come on.
maybe he'd be going back home, right? So, but yeah. So, anyways, we can move on. We could talk about another guy who I think, now that you say that, I might be wrong, but I think he went to the same college as Draymond Green. I could be wrong though, and that is Miles Bridges. You know, recent reports have said that he's thinking about, I could be back in March. Obviously, with the latest news about LaMelo Ball, like basically going to be out for the season. The Hornets, they're basically out for the season. So it seems like they might have nothing to lose if they do decide maybe to bring back Miles Bridges, but this could also just be all talk. I mean, what do you make of him saying like I could be back sometime in March?
March, man. I know the Hornets are praying that their brother is back by March. The Charlotte Hornets need Miles Bridges desperately. Last year, if I would say he's the best player. He's the Hornets' best player on most nights last year. If it wasn't LaMelo Ball, his situation is very difficult to gauge. Me myself, I'm not. I don't condone domestic violence. That's obviously horrible, and what his wife went through is horrible. But as you research that situation, there's both sides. But I ain't gonna say too much on that. I do believe Miles Bridges deserves another chance in the NBA. I don't think he should come back this year. I do think he should serve his, not unofficial suspension, stay away from the team for the year, and come back. I say he should come back because of what the NFL has done with similar situations. I do think you should be able to be redeemed from your mistakes.
Yeah. No, I feel that, especially because like recently we just saw like Myers Leonard get a 10-day contract from with the Bucks, and like what he said like 2 years ago, people said like, oh, there's no way he's gonna play in the NBA again, like he's finished. Well, I mean, and he really like, I mean, let's be honest, like nothing against him, but he's nowhere near the player that Miles Bridges is. So like the fact that he's getting a call back, I mean, you would have to think that Miles Bridges, unless he's literally behind bars, like he's probably going to get a call back. So, and right now, like, it's such a weird situation. And again, I'm not going to get too much into it. Being with like everything that was reported, like, it's just something that I agree. He needs to probably be out for at least like this whole year. Maybe come back like next year, and he needs to not only come back, but come back like better too, because he was playing really good last year. Like he was arguably a most improved player candidate. So if he comes back next year and he's like completely locked in, basically off the court, like there's tons of stuff like that's reported about him that, of course, like a lot of people are going to be shied away from him, but if we're just talking about like basketball talent, he could help a lot of teams, and especially could help the Charlotte Hornets right now, because I don't know where they're going to be getting help. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's realistic that he comes back this year, especially because like I said, he's a really talented player, and with LaMelo going out, like I feel like they're kind of just bought into, we're already this far down, our best player is gone, like let's just basically like shut it down for the season, and next year we'll come back revamped. Maybe get Wembanyama if they get lucky. And then, if they added Miles Bridges back, you got LaMelo, you got Gordon Hayward. If they still have Terry Rozier, still have Kelly Oubre. Like, I mean, that's not a bad team at all. I mean, this is a team, people forget, like when they had Miles Bridges last year and they had a healthy LaMelo Ball, I mean, this is a team, people forget, like when they had Miles Bridges last year and they had a healthy LaMelo Ball, I mean, this is a team, people forget, like when they had Miles Bridges last year and they had a healthy LaMelo Ball, yeah, they were the 10 seed, but they won 43 games last year. So next year, like if they were to get like, let's say they got lucky and they got Wembanyama and they got like all these other guys back in the mix, like who knows? They could be definitely potentially a playoff team. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna say Michael Jordan does not deserve Victor Wembanyama. I'm just gonna put that out there. But I'm kind of like I don't want to say I'm happy, but I do think this domestic violence case, but it was a good thing for Miles Bridges' life because we saw the red flags coming. Right on Instagram, he did post that picture of a pink substance in a cup, and I saw it joint on the side. I don't know. As long as he gets his off-court life together, and his mind is right and all that, I think he'll come back a better basketball player and a better human being as well.
Yeah, I mean, even though I think Jordan as a player is the GOAT, greatest of all time, he has an argument in the front office as the WOAT, the worst of all time. So hopefully, for their sake, they can just figure it out. Because if the Kings do make the playoffs this year, they're going to have the longest playoff drought in the league. So nobody wants to hold that title. But if you want, though, we can move on. We could talk a little bit about a little bit of a connection, I guess, with the Lakers, as I see you're repping there, both on the jersey and with, the Kobe on the wall. Oh, LeBron jersey, nice. But actually, we're going to be talking about his son, Bronny James, who recently has moved up to a top 10 projected pick right now for 2024. Of course, this is more than a year in advance. A lot of things could change. Like we've seen Nerlens Noel before. He was the top projected pick, and then he got injured and he went 6. But we've seen guys who weren't even projected, like Ja Morant wasn't on a lot of projections. Then he goes 2nd eventually. So I guess like to ask you, like, what do you think about, Bronny James, like the way he's been playing lately, the way he's been developing? And like, I guess what you could see from him in the NBA. And do you think maybe, because I know we've heard LeBron, he wants to at least play a year with Bronny. Do you think maybe him moving up so quickly could influence when LeBron does decide to maybe call it a quits?
So gauging how good Bronny James is really, really difficult. I mean, he plays for Sierra Canyon with a whole bunch of other good players. In his senior year, he averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, about 3 assists. I don't know how do I gauge that? I know local players that in high school that have better stats than that. Mm-hmm. And like Bronny James's basketball foundation. He's a great defender. He makes the right plays. He's not selfish, incredibly unselfish. But I really don't know how do I gauge how good Bronny James will be until he plays in college. But I will say, me personally, I listen to a lot of basketball podcasts, and I was listening to Brian Windhorse's podcast where he did have Jonathan Gavoni, the person that made the draft list, and he said that draft is actually one of the weakest that for the next couple of years. So with that added, I still don't know how to gauge this. Like, Bronny will be a decent basketball player, but to the NBA level, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, I think that's the one downside. Is that it seems like this draft class coming up is going to be one of the best, especially with guys like Victor, like Scoot, Nick Smith, the Thompson brothers, and everything. So like, there's a lot of guys that are up there. But as for 2024, doesn't really seem like the same way. Him being projected top 10 is. He gonna, like, obviously it's again over a year in advance. More times than not, wherever you're projected over a year in advance, it's probably gonna change. Now that could be for better or for worse. Like, he could end up maybe a top 5 pick and he has a great year in college and he goes straight to the pros, or he could maybe not get a lot of playing time wherever he's playing. Maybe he's projected like 2nd round and then he's like, you know what, I need to go another year in college. So we'll just have to see. But I think, like, at least for me, like, I'm willing, like, I don't keep up with Sierra Canyon's, like, player stats as a whole, because personally I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, that's just something not for me, like, to do consistently. But I'm willing to bet that there's probably a couple guys who are in the same, like, realm statistically as, like, what Bronny's putting up, and the fact that, like, he's projected 10th. Maybe it could be a little bit just because, his dad's in the NBA and his dad is like literally the face of the current NBA. He's has the highest net worth and everything, so that's probably part of it. But at the same time, how it influences LeBron is, let's say Bronny is in the draft next year and he does go 10th. Maybe LeBron, could find his way on a team like that. Probably won't be too hard, especially because that's a pretty high pick. More times than not, teams that aren't in the playoffs have more salary cap than teams that are. So maybe he could find himself on that team or something like that, or facilitate a trade to get Bronny to the Lakers or something like that. I'm not really too sure, but I mean, if I feel like if Bronny's playing that well that early, it might honestly like shorten the remaining years that we see from LeBron in the NBA. If Bronny goes till his junior year in college and then he comes out in like 2026, we might see 4 or 5 more years of LeBron. But if he's playing that good that early, it might shorten that. I don't know if you might see like a little bit of the same thing there, or I don't know if do you think that even like has a factor?
No, yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I if so, the protected top 10 pick is goes to the Orlando Magic, and LeBron also joins the Orlando Magic. Hey man, I really don't know how.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like with the NBA now, with everyone like teams are so different now than they were 2 years ago. So it's hard to predict what everything's going to look like even then. So I guess we're just going to have to wait. But, this could be something, again, that we have to keep an eye on, most definitely, as we see how it affects not only Bronny, but also LeBron. So
is Mikey Williams still in high school? He didn't graduate yet?
I think he is. I think he's in the same class as Bronny. At least I thought so.
And Bronny's ranked higher. That's crazy.
I wonder too. I will say that I wonder too if he's ranked higher just because of the possibility that he could be, like a package deal with his dad. You know what I mean? So maybe realistically, he could be like, outside the top 20, but they're like, oh, it could be like meaning you're getting Bronny and LeBron, so we'll throw him up to top 10. Which
so that's that gassed up rank. Gotcha.
maybe. But yeah, if you want though, we can move on to the NBA 20 questions game. Now I'll read the rules for anyone who. Oh wait, hold on a second. That was crazy. For anyone who hasn't watched this before, so basically, my guy Jay here can ask me a maximum of 20 questions. Hint-related questions, and after each one, he has a chance to make a guess at whatever thing it is. It has to be yes or no questions. If you get through 5 questions you literally do not know, then you're able to skip it or give up or whatever. But it could be a current player, a current team, a former player, a coach, anything of that nature. And yeah, so basically, like, it gets less points as it goes on. So if you get it in the first guess, you'll get 20 points. If you get it in the second guess, that's 19 points, and so on until it runs all the way down. But overall, there's 3 questions, which means if you have a maximum of 20 for each one, so maximum of 60 overall. But other than that, though, are you ready, or do you have any more questions?
Yes, sir. Let's go, man. I'm going for that perfect score, man.
Okay, so the first thing, you can get started and ask away.
Oh, okay. All right. So, current player?
It is a current player.
Okay. Eastern Conference.
He is in the Eastern Conference.
Top 5 seed?
Yes, he is a top 5 seed.
Top 5 seed. Is the color blue in their uniform?
They do have blue. Yeah.
I like that. I was a little unsure. Is there star player from America?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a little short. All
No,
right.
uh, okay,
Top five seed star
I can explain that
player
when you get it,
from.
but yeah. So you've used 5 so far, by the way. So
Okay.
you still
Wait,
have
I can keep
15.
going or no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, like
Okay.
if you wanted to give up, you could, but it seems like you're on the right track, so you wouldn't want to.
Um, the star players from America, top five seed in the Eastern Conference. He said he got some blue in it. And wait, can I just backtrack a little bit? My star player, like that means the best player, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna use that
Okay, okay,
against
okay.
you, but and
Um,
I'll explain to you when you get it or when this one's over why I like was hesitant on that one.
okay. Um, I'll go with. I could guess, right? I can guess the
Yeah,
player.
yeah, you can guess.
Um, uh, I'll go with. It's not Jalen Brunson, is it?
It is not Jalen Brunson.
It's not Jalen Brunson. Okay, okay. Top five seed. Who's in the? It can't be Boston. Not Sixers. Not Milwaukee. Knicks top five seed, right?
Knicks are a top 5 seed, yeah.
Who's number four? Celtics, Sixers, Bucks, Knicks. Who? Uh, wait, can I look it up? Can I look up the top
Yeah,
five seeds?
yeah, yeah. You can look it up,
Okay,
or I
okay,
could just tell
okay.
you the other team you're thinking of is the
Oh yeah,
Cavs.
tell me.
The Cavs is the other one you're thinking of.
Okay, okay. They don't got blue. It is not the Julius Randle.
Are you guessing Julius Randle?
Yeah,
It is not Julius Randle.
it's not Julius Randle. They got a little bit of blue. Um, I think Chris Middleton.
It is not Chris Middleton. So
Not Chris Middleton.
you can still keep asking like questions too, because like every new guess you make, it takes away a point anyways.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh yeah, duh. Um, are they above 6'5"?
No.
They're not above 6'5"? The
Mm-mm.
star player, best player on the team, not above 6'5", top five seed
Well,
Eastern Conference.
so are
The best
okay.
player, right?
So are you asking if he's the best player on the team?
Yeah.
No.
He's not the best. All right, he's not the best player on the team. He's not the best player on the team. Top five seed Eastern Conference, not best player on the team. Um, is he black?
Yes.
He's black. Okay. Um, is he a point guard?
Yes.
Point guard. Okay.
Hmm.
Got a little bit of blue in the uniform. Not Jalen Brunson. Point guard. Not taller than 6'5". Um, Drew Holiday.
It is not Drew Holiday.
Not Drew Holiday. Um,
So you've used 11 so far.
um, Marcus Smart.
Are you guessing Marcus Smart, or do you want to use a? You could use a hint first if you want.
Was he in the play? Was he in the playoffs last year?
He was not in the
He
playoffs.
wasn't. He's in a top five seed.
Yeah.
Emmanuel quickly.
It is not Emmanuel Quickly.
Derrick Rose.
It is Derrick Rose. Yeah.
Knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna leave it out. Yeah.
I was hoping you'd at least get it at some point because that's my guy right there.
Yeah, bro. You had said it too, bro. I messed up, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you got that in 13, which still isn't that bad. I think that's worth 13 would be, my math is terrible right now. That would be 8 points. So you got 8 so far. Not bad, respectable.
Okay.
But are you ready to move on to the second question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can ask away for number 2.
All right. Western Conference.
No.
Okay. All right. So he's in the East. Top five seed.
Um, no. Okay, so you've used two questions, but I will remind you, it could be a variety of things. It could be a current player, a former player, a
Oh
team
yeah, I
coach.
forgot. I
Yeah,
forgot. I forgot. I
I
forgot.
didn't
All
want to
right.
lead you too far down the wrong path. So you've used two
Yeah.
only so far.
Yeah.
It's
My
not bad.
bad.
You're
Okay.
good. You're good.
I still. Uh, current player.
They are not a current player.
Not a current player. Okay. Okay. I like that. Played in the last 5 years.
Uh, no.
Okay. 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 Was hand checking still allowed when this player played?
Um, no.
No. Okay. 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 Okay.
As you can tell from my
Um.
answers, it was kind of close on both of those. um,
Um. Did this player? So this player played in the Eastern Conference when he played.
yes.
Okay.
Throughout his whole career,
Is
he
he
played in
NBA
the East.
champion?
Yes, he is an NBA champion.
Okay. 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 Did he? Was he the best player on that championship team?
Not on his championship team, no.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I will say at
Um.
some point, for a decent stretch, he was the best player on his team, but it wasn't on the championship team or teams.
Okay. Okay. The Eastern Conference. Okay. How do I dissect a historic player? Did he play in the 2010s?
He did play in the 2010s.
2010 champion. Okay. 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 Is it Dirk?
It is.
No. Wait. Let me take that back. Let me take that back.
Okay,
Let me take that back.
I didn't say it yet, so I will let you take it back.
Yeah, because he's in the East. And Dirk, that was a
Yeah,
stupid. That was
yeah,
stupid.
that's fair.
Um. Is he a Boston Celtic?
He never was a Boston Celtic.
Okay.
So you've
What's he on the
used
Miami Heat?
he was on the Heat. You've used 11 questions so far, by the way. But yeah, he
Okay.
was
He
on the
wasn't.
Heat.
Ooh, I guess that's a two-parter. I can't say that. I can. I'm a guess. I'm a guess. I'm a
Okay,
guess because fuck it, why not? Dwayne Wade.
it is not Dwayne Wade.
I thought I got it. I thought I got it. All right. Okay, he was on the Heat. He was never a Celtic. He's retired. All right. I'm gonna just say. I'm gonna just ask it. Did he win a chip with the Heat?
He did win a championship with the Heat,
He won a chip with the Heat in the 2010s.
and so he
Shaq.
wasn't.
Shaq. Is it Shaq?
Are you guessing Shaq?
Yeah.
It is not Shaq,
Okay. Okay.
and he wasn't the
Okay.
best player on the championship team or
Oh
teams.
yeah, he wasn't. Okay. Okay. Did he play point guard?
He did not play point guard.
Okay. Did he play center?
Uh, he did play some center. Yeah,
Chris Bosh. Is it Chris Bosh?
it is Chris Bosh. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. Not bad. Not bad. You got that one in 14 questions. So that is 7 points then. So overall, you got 15 right now. Respectable score. But we got one more yet, and maybe you can add to it. But I don't know.
Let's go. Hey, I'm ready, bro.
You ready
to
for
his
number
warm up.
3?
I'm ready, bro.
All right. So the last one, you can ask away.
All right. Current or retired player?
It is not a player at all. So no.
Not a player. Is it a team?
It is a team.
It's a team. Is it in the Eastern Conference?
They are not in the East. No.
Okay. Are they currently existing team?
Yes.
Okay. Did they win a championship in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Okay. We working here. We working.
Really good question.
All right. So last 5 years, got it in my brain.
You could make a guess too, like before if you want.
No. It's too early. No, it's too early. It's too early.
Well, okay. So here's what I will say. So after every like hint question you ask me, like you're allowed one guess anyways. So like, and it won't take away from you. So you can make a guess. Yeah.
All right, all right. Is it the Lakers?
It is not the Lakers.
Oh,
So now you can. It'd be best to ask a hint because it might as well.
Okay. Okay. Where? I'm trying to think. It's not the Lakers. All right. So was their best player when they won the chip above the height of 6'9"?
Ooh, that's a tricky question because you said in the last 5 years. You know what? I'm gonna go by the primary player that's recognized. So no, I'm gonna say no.
The primary player. All right. So you said primary player. So that kind of makes me think. I'm gonna give a guess. Golden State Warriors.
It is the Golden State Warriors. Yeah.
It is. Oh, let's go. Yo, I was gonna say that before the Lakers, bro. I should have said the Warriors.
Yeah. That was a really quick one though. That only took you 6 questions. You got 15 points alone on that one. So overall, 30 points. But yeah, that one was tough because because you asked me if they won in the last 5 years. I'm like, yeah. But then the last 5 champions, like they have 2 of them, and you could argue maybe one was Curry, one was KD. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go by like who's most known as a Golden State Warrior.
Yeah, no. Once you said I knew it was the Warriors. It had to be the Warriors.
Yeah, but I mean that's why it's all about. That's what it's about. Like asking the ideal questions to try and throw me off guard. So I got to give you credit for that one.
Hey, that was fun, bro. What the hell yeah.
So again, 30 points. That's pretty good. That's definitely somewhere in the top half. I'm gonna have to like go through.
You got a leaderboard?
I do have a
leaderboard.
I do have a leaderboard. I don't have it on my thing right now, but I think you just got in the top 5 actually. So
let's go.
That's pretty good.
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah. So and I guess so. I will add one more thing though before I close out my shows. Is I've been asking every guest to give me one. It could be a current player or a former player. A player that you do like and a player you do not like.
Player I do like gotta be Russell Westbrook, and I'm not gonna lie, SMH. I saw you talking crazy on the timeline yesterday, SMH, bro. What? Yeah, come on, bro. You know he's not the reason the Clippers is trash, bro. Ty Lue can't. They don't know what they're doing on defense. Their rotations is off. Everybody's all willy. Like, what's going on over there? It's not Russ's fault, bro. All right. I just want to say that I'm an avid Russell Westbrook defender. That's my 9 to 5. I defend Russell Westbrook. Okay, that's my favorite player. A player that I hate. A player that I hate, someone that I dislike. I'm not gonna lie. Warriors fans, don't come at me. I don't like Stephen Curry. Ooh. Stephen Curry is the reason Russell Westbrook doesn't have a championship. We blew a 3-1 lead to y'all back in 2016. All right, it still haunt me, bro. I don't like Steph Curry. Steph Curry, I got a lot of respect for you, brother, but I don't like you. Sorry.
So unfortunately, like with what you were talking about with my tweets and I need to chill and stuff, which I thought was funny. You're not gonna like that. I'm gonna have to tell you that someone has already taken Russell Westbrook for the player that they do like, and I'm trying to go for like a different player for everyone. So I'm gonna need a different player. The Curry one can stay, but I'm gonna need a different player you do like.
I bet. Give me Giannis taken.
1 second. No, he has not been taken.
Yes, sir. Just 7-foot Russ over there. Yes, sir. Damn, I'm surprised somebody took Russ. I didn't know he was that light. Yes, sir. I like it.
I should have had you on last week because the guy I had on last week, my guy Top Notch, he took Russell Westbrook. So it's unfortunate. But hey,
he got good taste in basketball players. I will say.
Yeah. I guess they say great minds think alike. So, but yeah. Other than that, though, I mean, I'm glad we could collab on the show, and I want to thank you guys again for watching. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. You got any other final thoughts before we close this thing out?
Hey, no sir, man. It's been a pleasure, man. This was incredibly fun. Shout out to SMA Super Mario Hoops, man. Shout out to Bullony Basketball. Let's get it, man. This was incredible, bro.
For real. But again, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we're out.
Sir, peace.
Peace.